when it comes to my family, my wife, my children, there's a vision that I have for our future together. And the vision that my children have for their future may be different than the vision I have for their future. But there's certain common things that are innate to each of us. If we're focusing too much on the details, that's where there's a lot of room for conflict. But if I'm focusing on the spirit of what we want, the things that you can't really, they're not physical things I can point out, but like health, happiness, fulfillment, joy, well, that's something we'll probably agree on. And I see this vision, this vision for my family and myself where we don't need to be afraid of any of the things that the world conditions us to be afraid of. Things like cancer. Been there. Diabetes. Been through it with family members. Heart disease and strokes and cancers and things like that. My brother had a stroke at age 30. And he was told he'd never walk again. My brother's an eye surgeon. Works with his hands. Any surgeon has to have steady hands. And yet, eye surgery, do you know how steady you have to be to go right into there and whatever? I don't know, I'm not an eye surgeon, but I can imagine it's got to be pretty steady hand. You're a doctor, right? It's got to be. And here he is being told he'd never even walk again. Forget about surgery. So his wife, my sister-in-law, his children, they're all in shock, not knowing should they make preparations for like how's their future going to be, what's going to happen. And we got within 1 year, because of what we know, but more importantly, of that which we know because of how we applied it, within 1 year, to the month, 1 year, he was back doing eye surgeries again. And that which brought so much fear and worry and doubt and stress to the family ended up turning into a blessing. And in my family, I have my daughter, when she was 6, when Olivia was 6 years old, she contracted a condition. Sometimes we talk about if things are breaking down in the body. Well, she had a condition that was an infective organism, a spirochete. It's called Lyme's disease. Have you heard of it? You ever heard of Lyme's disease? And in medicine, the best they had to offer, the best. In other words, if we succeeded at what we wanted to do, this is what success looked like. She was going to be sick for the rest of her life with recurrences. I've seen quite a few people with Lyme's disease. In some cases, pretty bad, the suffering that they're going through and everything hurting. And in our case, not only did we go ahead and get my daughter to completely heal. Hey, Kara, how long did it take for her to go through the whole healing process? Was it a month, 3 months, what was it?
1 month.
It took a month. That month seemed like 3 years to me. Because she was at a point where the infection went deep into her nerve system and her right eye was bulging out of the socket. You can imagine when you look at your 6-year-old girl like that, and you see this, and her left side of her face was paralyzed. And she would cry to me. And then to go ahead and in 1 month have her, instead of repressing the infection to be able to have her immune system develop immunity, and in 1 month for her to be back to playing and eating everything. She was so, let me tell you about Olivia. She was so thin to begin with, and then she stopped eating. And to have her go back to eating, and there's just nothing I wouldn't give for that. And so I could keep going on and on. The point is that I have a vision of health and wellness for my family. It's a vision that you would want for your children. You do. You want this. If you just took a second to think about it, you want that. It's the vision that's there for us from our Creator. You can have that. A life where you're not afraid. You don't have to worry about these things anymore. And if something came up, if you knew exactly what to do. See, the biggest fears is that we don't know what to do. We don't know enough about it. We're not familiar enough with it. So we go ahead, and that brings us more into fear. And we're trying all these random things and trying everyone's opinions and doing all these things. And the thing is, when you go ahead, that's what we started inspiring this. When you go ahead and you learn how to do your part, you get so familiar with the process, and when something starts healing, and we teach you how to check and see before and after, and as you get more familiar with it, that's where real growth takes place. Because when you're hearing something from the outside in, that's educated intelligence. Even if I share with you what was revealed to me from my innate intelligence, from above down, the way you're hearing it is filtered through all your stuff, right? You ever go ahead and play telephone? Or you ever go ahead and say something to someone, and then they went ahead and they repeated what you said, and you're like, that's not what I said at all, right? Everyone's hearing things, experiencing things, seeing things. If we saw a car accident out one of these windows, we would see, you know, if every single one of us saw a car accident, imagine there's 10 of us here saw that accident, how many different stories do we have about what happened? There's going to be some similarities. So the most important point is that it's not what I'm sharing with you, it's what your innate intelligence, what you get from the inside. That's where real wisdom comes from within. And the more you become familiar with this process and what to do and how to start getting the healing, the more you're going to own it. The more, when you have children one day, you're not going to be afraid of anything because you're prepared. You know what to do. You know how to take care of your kids. You know how to take care of your family. How's it moving? That's what this part is for. When you go ahead, we don't realize what we're created for in that vision that you have. You want abundance and prosperity and health. You want to feel good more frequently all the time. Happiness. Part of that comes from who you are as a person. What's your identity? How you identify who you are as a person. When you start to understand the big picture, you can do your part better. When it comes to healing in your body, you always hear me say, God already did His part. Well, you don't always need a supernatural miracle. You have the wisdom to make healthy cells inside you. That spirit life inside you, you have all the healing you need, all the ability you need to heal from anything, it's inside you already. So I say, God already did His part. When I do my part, it's to get you to a state where I know you're healing at 100%. How well you do your part can be the difference between life and death, between overcoming cancer or not. Even if I was perfectly getting you to a point where everything is healing, but within 5 minutes after you left, you undid everything. You got to hold that alignment. You got to hold that adjustment. Whatever changes you're making, you got to hold it. So it's already done for you. God already did his part. What if we're not talking about a health issue? You know, the ability to make new heart cells, lung cells, kidney cells, arteries, that's smooth muscle cells. It doesn't matter. That power's inside you already. God already did his part. Oh, well, what about if we're talking about provision for my career, or my job, or my finances? Well, you know what? Your brain is a radio station. Look, this is an antenna. Wherever you ever notice how all of a sudden you start talking about this new pair of red high heel shoes, like fire red, that you're thinking about getting, or that you want, or you're saving for, or whatever it is, and all of a sudden you start noticing red shoes everywhere?
That's true.
Right? Or that new sports car that you're thinking about getting, and all of a sudden, you know, you were just focusing on some exotic sports car, and then you just saw this Lamborghini drive right by. It's like, whoa, look at that. My wife, see, men and women are different. I'm like, honey, did you see that Ferrari we just drove past? She's like, what? No, I missed this. It's too late now.
It's true.
So your brain's a radio station. You're tuning it to different frequencies. As soon as you tune it to different frequencies, you start noticing things. Science studies show that you're only aware of about 4,000 bits of information at any given moment in time. But there's more than 400 billion bits of information going on. So what percentage of what I'm sharing with you, according to that study, are you actually getting? It's less than 1%. That's why, to really succeed in anything, it takes focus. And it's so amazing how forgiving life is, because if you put that time, that focused energy into something, that's where you get to see how powerful you are. Because if you're willing to commit, put that time and focus all your energy on something, you will overcome anything. You'll get off that machine. You don't need it. If you can restore that normal function. Or whatever it is you're going through. So if it's a thing at your job, if you took enough time meditating, or enough time at least tuning your brain to the right frequency, so that this way, you can notice all the provision that's there for you. The resources. It might not come in the way you're thinking. Start listing your resources out. What are the resources I have? You have resources that you don't even realize you have. When I think about wanting to make a difference in the world and sharing with people the opportunity to live a life free of sickness and disease and free of poverty, and I start listing, what resource do I have? One day I went ahead and I was thinking, do you see that sign over there that says mission engagement? I said, Lord, I was praying, I have a hard time, how do I reach all these people? I don't have the resources, right? That's adding stress and tension to my nerves. And then it just hit me. As soon as I spoke to someone who gave me an adjustment, and they said, what? You're always being provided for. Look around you and just see what's there. And all of a sudden, I realized, everyone here, you guys are all a resource. Because the more we plant good seeds, right? If you know it's good enough to make your life better, you're going to want to share that with your friends. And we started the mission. We started, helping hands, and we started the mission engagement station. It's to help. See, the whole thing is that there's always enough resources. So if you start moving your brain and nerve system into alignment with that provision, all of a sudden now you're going to be able to see the things you couldn't see before. See the ways to succeed that you couldn't see before. Raise your hand if you've opened the refrigerator door. This is really a question for the men. Open the refrigerator door and couldn't see what you were looking for, and you're like, hi! Right? You closed it, and your significant other opens the door and goes, here, right in front of your face. Have you ever had something like that happen in some way, shape, or form?
Yes.
Yes. Your brain is selectively choosing and rejecting information constantly. That's how your body works. The problem is that we're surrounded by so much skepticism, cynicism, negativity. Sometimes it's even from our own parents. You feel inspired, and you go, I'm going to change the world in this way. And then mom goes, Okay, but let's get your head out of class for now. You can do that, but let's make sure you're ready for a real job. I want you to be a lawyer or a doctor or this or that or whatever it is they're saying. Sometimes some parents like that. Sometimes it's right in your closest area. Sometimes it's your friend. Sometimes, a lot of times it's not even on purpose. Most of the times it's not on purpose. It's unconscious. Your nerve system is constantly being attacked by fear, doubt, disbelief, negativity, skepticism, cynicism, stress, all that stuff. Constantly. Constantly. That's opportunity. Because the way we started out today, I said, you know, it's your identity. Who are you? What are you here for? I mean, in 100 years, we're all going to be gone anyway. He said, speak for yourself. But who are you? Are you here to, what are you here to do? What's your purpose? Are we moving forward in a purposeful way? Who here has heard the expression victim of circumstance? Can you please tell me what that means? Someone? Anyone?
Yeah, because you see all the things you mentioned, fear, doubt, disbelief, all the circumstances of your life, and then you feel a victim to it because you feel that you have no control over it.
So your nerve system is responding to everything in your environment, and then you go, see, this is what it is, this is what, right? That's the way the world teaches us to be, right? You're a victim of circumstance. Or you can be coming from purpose. You can take even that and use that as a blessing, because if you're not here to get, by the way, if you're here just to get, that's what you're, see, you're more than just physical. That's what you got to realize. You may not be able to accomplish some of the things that you're really meant to accomplish on your own, just from the ways that you're thinking, but you have higher areas and ways of accessing higher levels of yourself and higher, there's divine centers inside you and pathways that you can't see yet that are right there for you. You know who Houdini is? Houdini, I read a story about Houdini where he was, he's this escape artist, magician, escape artist, whatever you want. He was so proud and excited, and he's doing his thing, and he made this announcement that he's going to go to this town and he's going to escape from whatever their newest and best technology is. He's going to let them lock him up, the whole town. It was in the center of the whole town. You know, the towns were smaller then, and it was right in the middle, and everybody came to watch, and they had this prison cage right in the center of the street, right in the center of the main street. And they had all their best stuff and their newest technology and their newest locks, so he can't be prepared for it. But he knows what he's doing, right? And he went ahead, and as he's coming to town, the crowds are full, and they're right. And he goes ahead, and there's all this pressure on him. I mean, Houdini was big; he's famous. And he goes ahead and he lets them put him in the prison cell, and then they lock it. Then they covered it. And he has, he's shackled and everything, right? He has to work his way out. So under wherever he's hiding his little tools and utensils, he starts pulling it out and start working on unlocking things and unlocking things and unlocking things. And what happens is he opens things up, and then when it came time for the big lock, by the way, he had made this big statement that he's going to do it in like under two. I don't have the exact timing, so I'm making it up right now. The actual timing. I think it was 2 minutes though. I'm pretty sure. He said he's going to escape in 2 minutes. Now they do it faster and faster right over the years, but it's like it was 2 minutes. He's going to be escaped from there, and everyone's going to be like, and usually they go ahead and they wait till the last second to make it all exciting. If they can prepare everything early, you know what I'm talking about? Have you ever seen one of these escape artists? No? If you want to see a show, if you want to make it exciting, sometimes they wait till the last minute, and you're like, so you're at the edge of your seat going, is he going to make it? Is he going to make it? And right? So, but the whole point is that this lock, he pulled out his tools, he's finally at the point, he's got a minute left, and he's looking at this lock for this new lock, and it's a new lock, he's never seen it before. And he's going, and he knows exactly what to do. He has exactly his, but it's different. And he's using his tools, and he's waiting to get the click. That's like, there's this click that he knows it's open. That's his triumph sound. Because once he did it, he knows. and then he can maybe wait a few seconds before the time and just open it. But he's struggling with this all of a sudden. This is a true story. He's struggling with it, and he was having a hard time, and he's having a hard time, and he didn't get that click yet. Time is running out. 20 seconds left. And he's trying to open it, He still didn't get that click. 10 seconds left. Here he is, his whole career on the line. Everything's just messed up. He doesn't know what to do. 4 seconds left. He's still not getting it, and he gave up, and he puts his head down like this, and the door started to swing open. And he had opened it. He didn't realize it was open already. There was no sound on this lock.
Wow.
It's a true story.
Wow.
And he stepped out, and he said yes. That's what it's like. The only thing that was holding him in that cage was what? His mind, his doubts. His fears. What's that?
His expectation of hearing the sound.
His expectation, he limited it. You don't want to limit God. He limited it to a certain way. That's called disbelief. So it's different than faith, because sometimes we have faith. I know that there's a way, but I feel like it has to happen this way because here's what I believe in, such and such. And so we limit our ways. That's how it is in our life so many times. So you go ahead and we start teaching you how to do your part. Your part, it's the same thing I teach my kids. I had an injury to my right wrist, and it was hurting bad. When I say bad, I mean bad. Okay? Now what do I do for a living? Do I use my hands?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know where it came from. Look, see, it brings up more. It was bad. Okay? It was a 9 out of 10. You know who's that? From 0 to 10, how bad is it? And my daughter, I came home and I'm worried about it. I'm like, honey, where's the tape? Let me tape it. Let me this. Because I was stuck in fear, doubt, and disbelief. And so here I am helping you guys with everything, and here I am stuck in fear. Oh, no, you know what I mean? And and it was going on over a day, and I have to go to work soon, and it's like, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to use some tools or whatever it is. And my daughter, Olivia, 9 years old, she goes, Daddy, come here. Wait, let me give you adjustment. Karen, you remember this? How long ago was it?
I don't know, 1 or 2 months ago?
A couple months ago? 1 or 2 months ago? So I go, okay, honey. I said, you remember everything I taught you? She goes, stop talking. I'm like, okay, she remembered. Oh, she got into serious mode. She went ahead and put her hands over it. She actually asked me from 0 to 10, how bad is it? She allowed the changes to take place in my nerve system. And what happened is, I'm going to cry. Just the fact that it was my little baby that took care of me, and it went down to 6, and down to, when it was at a 0, let me share with you the disbelief that I had. When it was a 0, I spent like at least 2 hours, not consistently. I spent at least 5 minutes immediately, straight. And then over the next 2 hours, keep checking. Because I couldn't believe I couldn't feel any pain. It was gone, it was healed. And that was my 9-year-old. Sometimes as kids, we can learn how to do this easier because it's not really what you're learning. It's about unlearning all the limiting beliefs that we picked up from society. So you can give something of value to the world. Because if you're here just to get, if that's how I identify myself as someone who's here to get, that makes me a drain on society. That's all I'm doing is looking to get. But if I start feeling a habit of giving, if the reason I want to be a multi-millionaire is so that I can start to give more abundantly, like that's really what's in my heart, just giving. Now you're adding value to the world. It's so easy to start giving, especially, but it's not always just giving. I was talking to Jim about this earlier. It's not just giving in the way I want to give. Today, I had someone who came in. It was first time in a while, a long time, and I just wanted to help her, and her boyfriend brought her in, and I said, hey, what are you doing? What's going on? see, I'm still looking to, I already knew some of the pains and problems she's going through and the struggles she's going through, and I knew also what it would take to heal just from experience over and over and over again, and what she needed in terms of that. But that's my head. That's me wanting to help her the way I want to help her. And if I was looking to do that, it wouldn't have worked. So it's not just looking to give. It's looking to give in a way that it's already ordained. It's already anointed. It's already, it's like if I can get you have, if I say, hey, what is it that do you have any needs, Marjorie? Anything that you've been going through? Anything that if you just wish it could make your life better? Like, if just this one thing could happen, wouldn't that make your life so much easier? Like, is there anything you can think of? Anything? So the whole point is because she might mention something and go, yeah, you know, if you could just get this guy over here just to always say yes, ma'am, every time I speak, or something like that. You know, that's maybe, see, things come out, ideas come out, but I didn't feel it resonate in my soul, in my heart. See, I want to go to her heart, her divine center, deep within, her spirit. And I wouldn't stop there and start trying to help you there. I'd go ahead, because I want to see what God wants me to do and where God wants me to go. And that's where it becomes easy. That's where all the doors are open. It's not locked. Right? Put his head down, it just opens up. And so I'd be like, I'll be patient, and I'll be like, oh, that's nice. You know, yeah, that'll be funny, joke around a little bit. Right? And then I'm just waiting, and I say, but seriously, if there was really something that you could really, it would just make your life easier. Or something you're working on, and you know that if you just could have something happen this way, or you talk to people about it, but it's just not working out, like, what is that one thing? See, when you get there into that place, I already know it's already provided for you. Those are the righteous desires. Those are the ones that I know there's already a way. And my main focus is on giving. How can I help give to this person in a way that's going to help them get that? Even when a patient comes in, I'm not even sure if I'm going to take him as a patient, and I go, you know, what are you hoping for? You know what I mean? It's like, you know, do you have any answers? Do you have any hope? Do you know what's going on? What are you looking for, right? So like the other woman, she was just looking to, maybe if she had this doctor, this chiropractic doctor she went to in some other state, and she said, but if I could come a couple times a week with you, I think that would help me deal with this better. Now, do you think I like to just deal with problems, or do I want to get to the root of it and start allowing that correction? That's how I want to work, right? But that's what I wanted for her, but that's not what she was wanting. And if I pushed that, that wouldn't have helped her, that wouldn't have been anointed. I needed to just look for the opportunities that were there and start saying, well, what is it? So I said, you know what, do you really think that if we got a couple of visits here, the way we do adjustments, you know, it's a little different than that, like that would help you, you know, that would really make your life a lot easier? She goes, I think so. And I had to really bite my, because there's a part of me that goes, wow, are we going to settle for that? There's no space for that. She wasn't ready to hear that. And I just said, okay, perfect. I said, let's get started. So I prayed a little bit. I said, where am I going to go? Where am I going to go with this? Because I didn't want to just keep working on that level when I know it's possible. But I knew that there was a way. I'm going to ask that question again, and the word is way. I knew that there was a way to provide for all of her needs, the real needs, and that I would find it if I gave it time, because I was in faith. I was kind of my nervous system free. So I went ahead and I just said, oh, perfect. One tiny step. So I went ahead, I said, okay, let's go ahead, let's make an adjustment. I held her feel the tensions and stuff, and I said, wow, look at all this tension. And I said, you know, I'm holding a vision for you. That I looked at her and I said, you're the kind of person that when you get your mind set on something, it's like, don't let anyone get in her way, right? And she chuckled and she laughed. And I said, I have a vision of you completely healed. Completely. Where you're not even trying to deal with it. I said, but that's a long journey away, long, long. See, if it was too much for her nervous system to take, her nervous system couldn't tune into that frequency. There was too much interference. So I said, that's a long way away. That's a long distance away. Long way. There may be a lot of steps. It might be a long journey. I said, but if we start this together, I'll help you on that journey. And I just said, let's just lay down. See all this tension? Let's see if we can get a little bit more peace. And in the actual visit, I said, imagine how you would feel if you knew exactly why you weren't healing. Like, not, oh, this doctor said maybe this, but he doesn't know. He said to try this. He doesn't think it's anything too serious, so don't worry. But I go, no, no, no. That's all that uncertainty and stuff. I said, imagine if you had true, real peace from within. You knew what was going on. You know it. Right? You took the time. I said, I could see over time, little by little. I said, can you imagine the kind of peace you would feel if you knew exactly what you needed to do and how easy it could be? See, little by little, just starting to let the right seeds sink in. And she goes, yeah. I said, I can help you get there. I said, since we're going to be doing these visits anyway, I'll just bless you with that. That's the only type of adjustments that, like, anyway, when you're aligning with 100, what percent life do you want? Please don't answer.
100%.
100% life. And there's always a way. Even if your spine looks all rotted and everything, I'm like, let's start nursing it back to life. It may look bad on an x-ray 6 years from now, but you'll know if you get that vitality and start going back, everything's working better, your heart's working better. I had people coming from, Karen, where did Jerry come from?
Indiana.
Indiana. He was out of a hospital, heart beating like crazy, and he found a way to get out a little bit, and his whole mindset was just, nutrition and everything. So I don't really believe in chiropractic, but someone told me I had to see you. I said, good, because you don't need chiropractic. I said, you just need an answer. That's all I wanted to do, feed a tiny seed. Chiropractic never healed anyone, by the way, but that wisdom inside you did. You understand tuning to the right frequencies? What good is it if I take the pressure off your nerves, or you take the pressure off your nerves, and you're not doing your part, planting the right seeds of wisdom, of knowledge? What kind of, when you have negative signals getting through from your brain to your heart, from doubt and fear and, I don't know, and like when you feel like I'm not ready yet, you're saying like, well, I'm not there yet, I need to get better first, That means I'm not good enough yet, That's not the kind of voice that comes from the inside out. The kind of voice that comes from the inside out playfully says, don't worry, you'll never be there. But it's a joke kind of, because it says, listen, with me, you're more than ready. Don't worry about it. You got this covered, you can do this. But you got to access those higher centers. You got to make sure your nerve system is completely free. So that's the whole point. So when you do a visit with me, that's what I'm actually doing. I'm actually aligning you with those higher centers. Getting your thoughts to shift just a little bit, and then reinforcing that, and allowing it to be reinforced, so your whole life starts changing. Raise your hand, who's been here for more than a year, or even for a couple months. Actually, I'm just so thankful for everything God's been teaching me. Who's been here for at least just 2 months? Raise your hands. All right, now if your whole life has been changing in the way you live your life in a positive way, keep here, raise your hand again. All right, do you see the whole point? Your life hasn't been changing? Oh, so raise your hand. Has your life been changing? You get it? Oh, 2 months, you're losing. All right, even less than 2 months, and your whole life is changing. Okay, so there you go. That's how powerful it is, what you have inside you. So now it's going to get even better, because you're learning how to do your part, and there's certain things involved. Okay? You're here to give. You're here to be healthy. You're here to share. You're here to have that vision. By the way, everything we do, where, Jim? Everything I do is really about Psalm 119, verse 30. That's everything right there. Everything is that's what this is all about. This whole office is just about that. Psalm 119, verse 30. Okay? So, so the key here is, when you go ahead and you're having all the stresses and doubts, and your spine's like this and it's getting tense like this, right? It's so easy to think it's no big deal. Well, same thing if I was to block Carla's arm. ¿Entiendes todo? Okay, so if I was to put some pressure on her arm, no big deal. I'm not even hurting her enough to put a bruise. The key is what happens to her hand when it stays like this. Imagine if it's like this for a week. Not always in pain. You ever put a cast on because there's certain beliefs and values that you know this is good for you and stuff like that, so your body counterbalances certain other things, but it still shrinks. In 8 weeks, isn't it so much smaller? But you didn't feel pain. As a matter of fact, you stopped feeling pain because it was healing. Because there was so much faith and good signals getting through your brain to your nerves. You're in faith. You knew that it was going to be okay. I'm a doctor, set. Really, your body has to heal from the inside out, but you just make sure everything's aligned right. Why can't you do that for your heart? For your immune system, so you never end up with cancer, or you start overcoming it. That's what we did. That's what I did. That's what so many people are doing. It changes your whole life, changes your whole future. So it doesn't feel like it hurts. But how many times a day do you think you felt pressure? Like if we do that amount of pressure and tension, and I just the tiniest little bit like this. How much pressure does it take to block? See the white spots? White. Tell me when it turns back to normal color, like right around now. So it doesn't take that much stress, fear, doubt, disbelief, tension to block the capillaries, to start decreasing blood and oxygen and nutrients. And imagine if you have a habit like that and you tend to worry a lot every day. Guess what's happening to your spine? Someone. Blocked. Is it going to stay healthy? Is it going to start breaking down? Decay. And the part of your body that's keeping you alive starts dying itself. That's what decay means. Life starts decreasing. And there's so many ways. The world's ways is just, oh yeah, that's normal. You're going to get sick as you get older. But don't worry, we're working all around the clock to find research better ways to deal with your sicknesses. So you're just managing death, managing disease better and better and better. If you're in an emergency state, thank God for that. There's times where I took myself there. But the point is that what you really want, or do you want life? You want to start rebuilding, renewing from the inside out. Same thing with your career. If you're not seeing yourself growing and prosperous, you're subluxated there. There's decay happening there. Same thing in your relationship with your spouse. If you're seeing it breaking down, if you're not growing together with new exciting things and sharing, that's a subluxated relationship. If you can't even, if you can learn something so amazing that changes your whole life, something like what we're talking about here, and you can't even communicate it to your spouse, and just at least want to share it with them, that's a problem in that relationship. You can't even communicate stuff. Don't worry. Whoever feels that way, everybody gets their times of time. I guarantee you there are times, okay, where my wife wonders why she married me. Guaranteed. But you check, you adapt, you grow, and you start healing, and everything starts changing, and you end up better off and closer. My wife and I are closer now than we ever were. So there's certain steps. You get this tension. How often would you say a day do you get that kind of tension and stress? Anyone willing to take a guess on yourself? How many times a day you feel tense and stressed or overwhelmed or upset or frustrated?
Frequently.
How frequently? What?
Extremely frequently.
100 times a day? There's no number? How many of us know people that live there? They're not living. They're dying slowly. Things are decaying. Things are breaking down. Your body has the information to rebuild, repair, heal, make healthy cells. But you start off from one cell. Sperm and egg came together, formed one cell, and it formed everything. The wisdom is there. You have the healing. So God did His part. Now it's time to do your part. So, and when you go ahead, when you tune into the right frequency, you got to do it like you're at the ice cream store. Who here has heard the ice cream metaphor? My ice cream metaphor, no? So, okay, perfect. So a lot of times I go, hey, what do you want? And they go, I want to go, you say something that it's like you don't really believe it's even possible. Imagine imagine that you know, like, let's say you like Burger King and McDonald's, okay? What you really want is, it's been like 5 years, I haven't had a Big Mac in like 5 years, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, I would love a Big Mac. But my wife goes ahead and she went to Burger King, and I'm like, oh, but I really want a Big Mac. But I know I can't get it while I'm asking for that. You see, there's conflict there, and you're not going to be able to get that. So the whole point is that it's like you got to be like, when you go into the ice cream store, let's say, you're like, what's your favorite flavor? Chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, strawberry, okay? So you want to ask for it, you want to be clear, you want to plant that seed in your heart of what you want, right? By being clear with all your, if you have parts of you that are conflicted inside, are you going to succeed? All you have to do is look at relationships. Imagine you're looking to be in a relationship with someone, but there's conflict. You're not 100% all in. Is that relationship going to work?
No.
No. Same thing with your relationship with yourself, by the way. So you go ahead, you have to do it with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, all your strength. Just go ahead and be clear. I want this. And you express it clearly and right, and that's the right desire of your soul. Like you really want it, and it's right for you. All of a sudden, you'll feel that sink in. Raise your hand if we've done that before, and you felt something sink in. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about, okay? So you go ahead and you become clear about what you want. Guess what your brain's going to start tuning into? All the ways to do that. All the ways to get that. You got it? So the whole point is you want to plant those seeds, and now when we take pressure off the nerves, what's your brain starting to do?
Like,
What's that? Your brain's starting to relax those nerves. It's not just relaxing those nerves. The signals that are flowing through those nerves are the signals to help you get what you're very clearly committed to. You ever see, I've seen people, sometimes so much decay and breakdown here, but all the breakdown was really here, and now blood pressure meds, about to have a heart attack, but her shoulders, arms, and hands, it was like this Italian mom taking care of the family, making sure she's cooking and cleaning. Even as things are decaying, she's focusing on all these things, taking care of it. So she's so committed to making sure this is okay, that even with all the decay, her body's gearing all its resources to maintaining this for her, but everything else was falling apart. Okay? So anyway, the whole point is your body, can you please stop? Practical jokes over here. What's that? The whole point is your body will send the right signals for exactly what you want, exactly what you need. The next step is once you're engaged in that process and you're clear about how to get it, you got to check in for your subluxations every day. Anything that's blocking or interfering with that, anything causing decay, anything showing doubt, fear, disbelief, the subluxations aren't just physical. You want to get to that deep place. So that deep place is really that you can't go any deeper. Raise your hand if you want to go to the deepest level so you have the deepest healing. Yes? The deepest place is what did I have to believe in order to feel that tension? What you want to do, what you're supposed to be doing, is meditating all day. Here's your part. On gratitude and joy and what you're interested in, what you're inspired to do, and how you're able to contribute in so many ways, and what's your vision, and how you're going to help out and make a difference, and that's what your life's like, and you're on how you're being supported and nurtured, how everything always works out for you. Okay? Everything does. In the long run, it does. Because why? How do you know that everything can work out for you? Well, because you're taking, every time stress and tension builds up, the kind that may even cause ulcers and things like that in your stomach. And it's like, but if you always make time to adapt, if you're learning how to do your part better, you don't just wait to see me to go ahead and make sure all that's gone in your healing, then you're going to go ahead and you'll be healing already. But you're adapting, you're overcoming, and you're learning how to handle your things better. You're on track for that prosperous life. That's the whole point. The way life works, you don't just go from 0 to 100. You know? We're seeing almost 300 people a week here now. I'm not going to just jump from here to 5 or 700. You know why? Because I can't handle that yet. I mean, there's a way, and I could, and I have to take time adapting and growing. You know, you're never going to get blessed more than you can handle in a way that's going to hurt you. And so it's like the way things work is like a seed. You nurture it, and it builds, and it grows. And that's how it's got to be. if you're enjoying the growth process and making sure you're adapting, whew, that's the most important thing in your life really, because you're set for a prosperity in your health, your finances, everything. So you're going to focus on how you're provided for. That's the key thing. Provision is peace, real peace. When you're not, how do you know? You have to make sure you don't have tension in your nerves all day, every day. You got to make sure there's no tension in your nerves every day. No tension. How do you do that? Well, you're going to fail miserably probably every day. But at least, what if you went ahead and you checked in at least twice a day? Maybe 3 times a day. In the morning, evening, and the afternoon. And you just, how do you check in? You're checking for subluxations. Why would you wait for me to find something that's killing you? Right? Subluxation plus time. What happens over time as you keep things blocked? If I'm blocking the nerves to the heart, isn't that heart disease? If it stays, if it's chronic, that heart's getting weaker and weaker over the years. Right? Why would you wait? Because the world's trying to convince you that it's not important? Don't worry about it? You got to take care of it. Don't wait till you see me. My job is to see once you're ready doing it, you have your guard up from all the negativity in the world and all the fears and worries that you're being attacked with, tempted to believe. Once you're grounded in that truth and that foundation, now it's like, I doubt you'll be perfect at even protecting yourself from it, but most of us aren't even trying. We're too busy focused on all these other things. And the thing is, your whole life, you can spend so much time focusing on any of those things. You can stay in your comfort zone, sit on your couch, watch TV, hours and hours and hours a day. But where does all growth happen? Inside your comfort zone? No, it's outside. But you don't have to be so outside. If you have a healthy nerve system, there's this new area that we call your stretch zone. You're stretching yourself. Because it's like really the most uncomfortable place you can go that's going to give you so much growth, and it's not really that bad, is inward. It's a meditative state. So you check in and look for your subluxations. Because if you're focused, it's going to be so easy if you're focusing on how you're provided for all day, every day, in a way that brings abundance and joy and health. Because when you're doing that, I'm going through my day, and at like 3 o'clock, I get a phone call from someone or something, or it's the tax guy or whatever, and I feel a feeling in my heart go, ooh. I'm going to recognize that subluxation. Instead of being a negative thing, if my goal is to get rid of all my subluxations, all the interference from me being at my best, then that negative thing turned into a blessing. Because now I recognize, ooh, what did I have to believe in order to feel negative or uncomfortable about that? You see? There's no deeper thing because there's tension all of a sudden. And it's choking the nerves. And it's choking your heart. Yeah, I don't care if the medical doctor says, no, your heart's fine. If you have pressure on your nerves going to the heart and that's what controls it, and it's stuck like that, it's impossible for your heart to be working the way it's supposed to be. How do we know? Because the nerves control it. And if you see decay and deterioration, raise your hand if you know someone who had a heart attack and everyone was shocked because we said, oh, but I thought he was so healthy. They had the doctors, I see a whole bunch, the doctor said, his blood pressure was normal, cholesterol was good. When things are breaking down, it doesn't always show up. Why would you even wait for those tests? Everybody needs to get their spine checked. It's just a checkup to see if things are breaking down before it gets too late, before a crisis happens. But your part is to stay in peace. There's 3 parts, really. Peace, clarity, and growth. It's easy. But real peace is not, oh, I need to take a break. Let me go into this corner and meditate for a little bit. Right? That's not going to work. Especially, let's say your tummy's hurting. Let's say you're bloated. Today we're going to talk about how to apply your part to digestion. But what I wanted to really do is teach you how to do your part first. And then go ahead and we're going to take like 5-10 minutes and say, okay, well what happens if you have this digestive thing? What do you have that? And then we're just going to list off a whole bunch of stuff and it's going to be so fast because you're going to know how to do it. So it's just really learning how to do your part. Because that's how life is not going to get more difficult. It's going to get easier. Imagine if this week is digestion, next time there's cancer, next time there's memory, next time whatever it is, and you have to learn 30 million different things. That's actually telling you that it's hard to be healthy. And the truth is that as you do your part, it gets easier. And there's less you need to do. So it's about allowing yourself to be guided from within, and everything changes. So you're supposed to be focusing all day on peace. First of all, what do you want to feel? Troubled? Or do you want to feel peace? But real peace, not positive thinking. Positive thinking is killing us. What I mean by positive thinking is denial. That's what I mean. What I mean by positive thinking is when we're like, it's fine, I'm fine. And it's like, oh, well, maybe you are, maybe not. What are you basing that off of? Is that a real good estimate of where you are? You follow? But if we're afraid and worried, we're covering it up. You know what I mean? I'm fine. I'm good enough. I don't have a problem. And it's like, dude, you get it? So peace is not come from, let me make space. Let me take a break from everything and relax. While something that's important to me, something that's important is not being tended to. So I can feel peace. That's your version of peace. The peace that's really there for you is the kind that says, I can relax now if I want to, and I don't have to. But I can, because what is important to me is being tended to. And it's being tended to in the exact way I need it to be tending. And the timing. And I'm doing my part. And you need a lifestyle that is forgiving. And I'm not going to be perfect. You can't put pressure on yourself to be so perfect, because none of us is. So you need a way to make, that's why you come in and get checked, to make adjustments. A lifestyle that says, that's what we're providing for you. That says, and even if I'm not perfect, I'm still going to get there. I'm doing the best I can. That's all I expected of me. Whew. Isn't that pretty cool? But that's what real peace is. Peace is provision, that whatever's important to you is provided for already. It's already there. When you remind yourself that, and that all you need to do is find the right steps, because some people will never find those steps. If we're all going to be dead in 100 years anyway, then it's not so much that the sickness and diseases you get to avoid because you're keeping proper nerve signals to your heart. It's more all the blessings you miss out on. And all that you're meant to accomplish in life, where you're supposed to give and have fulfillment and joy because you added value to someone's life. And you planted good seeds of faith and empowerment. So that's what peace is. You need, when you first make an adjustment, when you check in, maybe once or twice or 3 times a day, you have to affirm that truth over yourself and say, everything right now is provided for. Am I feeling that joy? Am I feeling that peace? That's the first step. So the first, second, or third time of your day, imagine if you did, if some people have to do it like 5 times a day. Some people, I have to do a media fast. I say, stop watching the news. Start doing this 10 times a day if you need to. And anyway, the point is that peace. The next step is clarity. That's powerful. Because as soon as you say that, let's just say you're having stomach problems. Name a stomach problem anyone's interested about. Yes?
Heartburn.
Heartburn, okay? So you go ahead. Have you had moments, by the way, where we go ahead and free up some of the nerves and the heartburn gets better? Okay. So the key here is how can you do your part and keep it healing until it's gone? God's already provided the way for you. Who has to do your part for you?
I have to.
That's why you got to, so who has to go ahead and stop maybe 2-3 times a day and just check in. It takes like 30 seconds when you get good at it, or less even when you get good at it. And, you know, but really, in all honesty, it's about knowing in the beginning if you're committed to it. When you're really committed to something and you want to get good at it, how much time do you give it?
All the time.
As much as it takes.
Yeah.
Why? Why would you give as much time as it takes? What's that? Because it's important to you. So how important is it to you? Would you give it as much time as it takes? That's called commitment. Okay, so the beautiful thing that happens is once your heart's there, is that it never takes as long as you thought it might. It takes longer than you think. I mean, but it's always faster than you want. It's always longer than you want, but faster than you think. And that's how it works. And that keeps you in that middle zone where you're growing and stretching yourself. But you see, you're in that stretch zone. The stretch zone is when you feel uncomfortable, meditate on that subluxation. What did I believe? It's a negative feeling. If you have tension, it's obviously, you're not feeling provided for. You're feeling like, I don't know, I'm not good enough yet, I got to do something, I'm not ready, I have this is going to happen, I don't like this isn't ready, whatever it is, find out what it is, and then remind yourself, wait a second, there's a way. I'll provide. Just start speaking life over yourself. So, but you have to get yourself to believe that. You want to get yourself to a place where your muscles start to relax. That's how you know if your inner self believes it. If you're, how many times, raise your hand if sometimes I wanted to adjust something and it just was so tense. All those joints, the spine is so locked up, there's no motion, things are decaying, and we go ahead and I just go ahead and I'm like, hey, Jim, see this tension here? I bet you we can get proper signals back to your heart again. We don't want that heart disease to keep getting to the point where it actually gets diagnosable, do we? Let's go ahead and affirm, yeah, there it is. I see in your heart, as soon as I make it clear to you, see you're not clear yet, we're still in fear, we go into denial of that stuff, but as soon as you become clear, holy cow, is that really what was happening? As soon as your heart acknowledges it, doesn't the shift take place immediately and then it gets easier? Because you're valuing it. So you can start training your brain to value what's important to you. So you make time every day to check in and to speak life, but just affirm it. It's that simple. It's so simple because once you do that, then the rest of it, you can rock back and forth a little bit. If your tummy's hurting, you could go ahead and put your hand there and rock it back and forth until you feel it releasing and all the tension releasing, and then it goes away. You've seen me do it for you. I want you to learn how to do it for you. But if you don't first plant the right seed, then it doesn't matter. That's why so many people go to so many doctors or chiropractic and stuff. They get, and even if it's a subluxation-based doctor, not everybody's getting 100% better. You have the power to get 100% better in you. Of course you do. You have the power to get 100% better, not just better, back to normal, but to be on track for the most amazing life ever. That one you were created for. You have that ability, but if you're not planting the right seeds for yourself, in your garden, in your life, well, what do you get what's going to be there in 5 years? So peace is that you're provided for. How many times a day? Tosh, if you want to see yourself healed, maybe you got to do it 6 times a day. How many times a day do you want to affirm that? Well, sometimes, Tosh, didn't we have the legs were in spasm outside the other day, right? And it was a while that you were there, right? So Debbie told me, and I ran outside to go get you, and as soon as I put my hands on you, it started getting better instantly, right? And what was your question? How did I do it so? What was your question? So quick, so fast, so quick. And the whole point is that I knew. I've been telling myself for so long that I know everyone that comes into my sphere of energy, because there's so much faith flowing through me, so much empowerment, and I own it, that vibration is there. You were feeling it before I even spoke a word. As I went there, as I started thinking about you, that energy was flowing from me to you already. Things started healing. That's like when you pray for someone, and you remember when we did for the baby?
Yes.
There was a baby that was having a hard time. They were in a hospital, newborn. Everything was going wrong. This parents will never even know what happened. But it was someone from my church, and it was only Marilyn and I know about this. We went ahead. It's been day after day after day. The church is praying for this child. So we went ahead. And we went so deep in prayer where we really made an adjustment. And we pretty much, any negativity, any doubt, we cleared it out of the way completely. Until, and I wouldn't stop. I kept going ahead. I was like, Lord, are we there yet? No? I went deeper. You got to be like that. Committed means like be like a child in the backseat of a car. Are we there yet? No. Are we there yet? This is how you do your part. Get yourself into that attitude where you keep checking. When you come to my office, don't come for adjustment. Start doing your part and say, how did I do? Check me. Am I there yet? Am I there yet? Right? Where I'm adapting to every stress in a way that's empowered. Yeah. You see? Oh, no. You're doing a good job, okay? William, let's go ahead. Let's just check and see. You're doing better than last week. Keep it up, right? You get better and better. It's like if I want to teach you how to play tennis. If you came here thinking you wanted to know how to do your part perfectly, that's like coming here, if I was a tennis pro and I said, let me teach you how to play tennis. Then you got to practice it. It's so, and if you don't practice it and you don't do it, it's not going to change. So you need to meditate on these things. But not just meditating. You know, Angela went to a seminar. There was meditating on the air conditioner, right? Is that what you're talking? Right? You could be meditating on provision for yourself, something that completely makes you feel the joy, like at Christmas when you open up a present you were just given to, and that everything's opened up for you, and that you're adored and loved and supported and provided for. Wow, meditate on that. And that's going to be a huge difference. So as soon as you're doing that, you notice a subluxation, you notice a negative feeling, you notice something's up, right? That brings clarity. It's bringing clarity. That's the second step. Peace, clarity. Clarity that something needs to change where? Inside you. Okay, so it's not, God, please take care of this. Please get rid of this stomach issue for me. Please get rid of this heartburn. No, you're trying to change God. It's more, that's not going to work. How many years have you prayed? It's still going to be there. Okay? So it's about, God, you've already provided. I'm so thankful. Okay? I am so thankful. And start saying it until you actually feel thankful. I know you provided for me, and I know I'm going to learn from this, and I'm going to grow. So you're even turning the negative experience into a blessing. I'm so provided in every way, exactly how I need it, even more than I realize. Ooh, you start to feel spirit starting to flow. Man, you can be thankful in all circumstances when you know how to handle it properly. And you go ahead, and you start becoming clear that the change needs to take place where? In you, in your heart, in your nerve system, in your attitude. Sometimes your heart's already shifted. That's why adjustments are so powerful. Sometimes the only thing is necessary is an adjustment. Because sometimes your heart changed already. You ever hear post-traumatic stress syndrome and stuff like that? That's what subluxation is in your brain. It's to a lesser degree, but it's something that keeps firing over and over and over again. So even if you change, but the old pattern's stuck in your nerve system, sometimes you want to break free from that. And that's what we're teaching you to do. Sometimes old patterns are still affecting your life today. You got to clear out your nerve system. So clarity, that's something that's to change in you, but you meditate further on it. Say, I know I'm provided for here. What are my resources? Right? Remember we talked about that? What's going on? The answers, the steps to take to see the abundance in that area of your life, that's also in your brain if you meditate on it enough. So the most uncomfortable place you could be is that place where you felt a negative feeling. Right there, meditate on there. Get out of your comfort zone by going inside and start correcting it. Get your brain to tune to the right frequencies. That's what we started talking about in the beginning. So you want to go ahead and say, hold on, I'm provided for it specifically here, in this part of my life, in this way. And I realized I wasn't believing that. I realized that I had all this tension in my nerves. I had all this, and allow an adjustment immediately. Because you're grounded in the principle, you're grounded in the truth, that a universal intelligence is guiding all things in life, and it does it perfectly, 100% all the time, and it's there for your abundance and your growth and your prosperity, and if it was in charge 100%, you would have nothing but that. So get yourself out of the way. Faith doesn't move God to heal you. Faith moves you into where you'll receive the blessing that was already given, and now you're there. So you're getting a healthy nerve system is one that's in faith. That's all it is. So it's about getting there, maintaining it. How's your stomach doing? Did it just start to change? Starting to get better? Just by thinking and hearing it, I'm getting different parts of your brain to activate. Imagine if you started repeating this and working on it and training yourself to be there. And how much more effective would you be in reaching others and sharing faith with them and passing seeds on? Because you're not coming from just your head, your educated intelligence. There's actually zero value there. All you have to do is just think how many people you said that stuff to, and did you influence them that they actually changed? The answer is probably no. But when it's after you went deep enough that you're able to influence yourself, that your actions are different now, whoa. Now, whatever that was, whatever you did to communicate to yourself in that way, reinforce that. You'll see, because the muscles relaxed, the nerves are freer. When you come for an adjustment, I don't have to guide you through it for 5 minutes. It's like, whoa, oh wow, look at that. That was easy. Good job. The faster your visits are, it's a sign of success. It means you're doing great. That's the whole point. If I spend like 10 minutes with you, 5 minutes with you, it means, how many times has anyone here ever heard me say, oh, we got a lot of work to do? Right? Man, you get it? I used to put that pressure on myself, but you get better results when you're teaching yourself how to do it, because then you don't have to wait for me. So you're becoming clear about what needs to change, and there's so many things. Today we're going to just take a few minutes now to go over the digestive stuff. Clear what kind of things, and you'll see about digestive, what kind of questions you would ask yourself as you meditate on it. What's the big deal if you took 5 minutes on your lunch break to just, went to your car, went someplace quiet, and just prepared yourself before you go back to work? Don't even be reacting all the time, be proactive. Right before you go to work, prepare yourself. What are the things that you're expecting to be stressful? Right? What are the things that you're expecting to be stressful? Prepare yourself in advance and say, hold on a second, I know I'm provided for, and start making adjustments. Start practicing as if you can communicate to those people, and start seeing if you can get your imaginary version of them if you have, whatever it takes. But you want to be in faith before you move in. So imagine I want to help Olga. So I go ahead, but I don't believe that she understands. I'm feeling stressed. I don't know if I'm going to be able to reach her. I don't know if I'm going to help, right? I got to prepare beforehand, whether it's through prayer, meditation, affirmation. But I got to get to myself that says, hold on a second. What do I know? What do I know for sure? I know there's a way. I know there's a way, as long as it's the right thing for everyone, it's the right thing for her, the right thing for me, the right thing for, it's going to be what's best for her. There's a way to help her see how we can do that. And I get myself there. As soon as I'm clear, now I'm ready to go into that consultation. Or I'm ready to go. I do this, by the way. I did this with every single one of you. So the whole point is, because I don't want it to be my ego in the way. I want to make sure that I'm completely in faith, and then I can just go ahead and say, so where are we at? What are you thinking? What's going on? And just, there's no trying to push anything anymore. Truly just being a vessel to give wherever your heart really feels like it needs. And if there's a blockage, I can see trouble, then it's about going, I'll go ahead and just be like, well, I can see how you get that. That's pretty cool. And give you some time and let the Spirit guide me and appreciate the fact that you're looking for answers. And that's the first step, and that's awesome. And I'll be like, you're 90% ahead of most people, because most people don't even looking for an answer yet. I get you to feel some spirit, because I know your nerves are too tense, the two of us, so you go ahead and you acknowledge, I'm starting to give. What did I give? A compliment. A real compliment. Most of us don't even know how. Guys, when we talk about you're here to give to yourself. Most people don't start healing, they're not even giving to themselves yet, that opportunity, or whatever it is. Start giving to yourself. If you do this, starting now, taking time to affirm that provision in your life. You're provided for. There's a way. There's always a way. You start choosing things that you're not based on fear anymore, but based on faith. So many people are in scarcity mode, and they're thinking, I have to, the expression, rob Peter to pay Paul? Well, maybe I can't afford to do this, or maybe I can do this, but I have to give up this. And it's like, hold on a second. There's a way that all your needs can be met. Let's find it together. Let's find it together. Let's find it together. Most people will come in. The typical chiropractic patient is already, usually they've been beat up by the medical field. They haven't been able to, they don't know what's going on. No one is able to help them. It's all the toughest cases that no one else has been able to help. And they spend all their money on a million things. So they're sick, they're broke, and then they come in and they say, can you help me? And I don't want to pay anything. That's the typical, you know what I'm talking about? But the thing is, all I see when I look at you is God's spirit of provision in you. And I'm like, man, you're so off track. You don't even know. Your life is just going downhill. I'm going to help this person. And as much as I want to jump right in like the other person, just want to tell you everything, and I know your nerves can't handle it yet. And I just go, okay, let's see. What's bothering you the most? Do you at least know what's causing it? Okay, I'm going to help you. Thank God. You know what? No wonder you're having a hard time, man. It's always hard if you don't know what's causing it. You're just dealing with the effects, right? All right, let's get you an answer. Let's start there. And you just, one tiny step at a time, planting seeds, planting seeds, planting seeds. That's what I do. I'm teaching my secrets. It's called love. It's called being patient. It's called being faith, letting that flow. So peace, clarity, you're starting to become clear. What needs to change? Maybe your diet. Maybe there's other things. What do you look for? Right? If it's a digestive issue, maybe you need better probiotics. Reinoculate the good gut. We have it. We'll help you with that. There's ways to even check your intuition until your nerves get healthy and you can hear that inner voice. Maybe it's enzymes, when you cook your food and you denature your food to, you raise the temperature 109 degrees, 112 degrees, 116 degrees, these enzymes are all, they're becoming, what's the word? You're denaturing them. You're breaking the bonds. So, but when you eat raw, that's why when you have lots of raw vegetables, you're taking all these enzymes, it's so good for you. So, but the point is, why not just, you can supplement with some enzymes. Everybody needs enzymes because we're denaturing all the enzymes. And everyone needs probiotics because in this country, you're constantly putting 70% of America has your bacteria and intestines is backwards. Instead of 30% E. coli, that's the bad one, you've heard of that? and 70% acidophilus, it's the opposite. You got 30% acidophilus, that's the good one, and 70% E. coli. That's a study. So maybe you got to start eating better foods or taking some probiotics. All right? Maybe checking out the nerve tears of your stomach. What do you do if a doctor tells you you have Crohn's disease? Who had Crohn's disease? You did. Right? You never had Crohn's disease. It's a trick question. You had deterioration breaking down because your nerve system wasn't providing the normal signals that it used to provide. And rather than finding out how to restore life and bring your body back to life again, doctors labeled it Crohn's and started managing the death and decay that was going on. And they would have managed you for the rest of your life. And you were like 22? 22. And on steroids, prednisone, and all this stuff, and it's crazy. And it's like, whoa. You don't need somebody to label you a problem and be a victim of circumstance. You need to start coming from inspiration inside and start saying, hey, I'm created to be healthy. I'm meant to be healthy. There's a way. I'm going to find it. And as soon as you get there, guess what? Your natural instinct, you're not going to need someone like me to say, do you know what's causing it yet? You're going to start looking on your own. You'll start treating your own life the same way you treat your money. I'm teasing a little bit, but you treat your money better than you treat yourself. If there was money being lost out of your account, you're not going to settle for someone just labeling it, the bank person going, well, you know, your account's getting pretty old, and, or you know, you're not going to settle for, no, I'm serious. You're not. You're going to get to the bottom of it, and you will. If 10 people were trying to drag you back and go, hold on, calm down. You get no, get this. That son of a gun. I think I know who it is. You're gonna. Am I wrong? Okay. So, but if it's your heart that's being robbed of life, and you're going to lose 15 years of life because you lost that curve in your neck. You're going to die 15 years earlier, and you're not going to be around to see your kids get married and dance at their wedding. You're not going to do the same effort, same commitment. You're worth more than even money, because when you start getting a healthy nerve system, you see that your ability, if you're focusing on providing and giving and filling out needs, finding real needs, the ones that are deep there, those are the ones that get anointed, and it always comes back to you tenfold then. So I go ahead, I find a real need, and I go, hey, let's see how we can do. We have ways of raising funds, we can do a fund. Next thing, you don't think patients come back out of that? It's like, of course, but it's because I'm not focused on getting, I'm focused on giving. We've had conversations about this. That's what it's about. A lifestyle of giving, a lifestyle of serving. There's no greater joy. So you're starting to become clear on what you need. Okay? Take the pressure off your nerves to your intestines. That's what we did with Brianna. She's complete. How many years have you been healthy now? Completely free?
I think this month makes year 6.
6 years ago. And she was dying when she came in. And her mom's a nurse. And she was doing all the emergency care. That's what we're talking about. It's life and death. If you have things decaying and breaking down, things are dying. Turn it around. Just because you weren't taught to do that since you were a child, your parents didn't know. They're being told, it's because we're being told, oh, don't worry about it. And as things break down, oh, just take this. Oh, don't worry, sickness is normal with age. Don't accept that in your life, because you don't have to. As Tosh, the longer you wait and things are breaking down, sometimes it's very difficult to start turning it around. But you're getting more and more signs of life, right? Seeing more and more progress. The whole point is, the longer you wait, the more things break down, the harder it is. The more difficult it is. Sometimes there may be an emotional block that's just eating away, affecting tension in some part of your gut. You know, sometimes you feel emotions in your gut. You may need to get to the bottom of it. But if you're always doing your part, going ahead and saying, hey, I know I'm provided for in here. Whenever there's a tension that causes a blockage, you're going to go, hey, I am what? Provided for. There it is. How many times a day you can do it, William? As much as you need. Very good. How many times you can do it? Till everything is exactly the way you need to do it. I will take that as a good start, because what happens is when all of a sudden everything in your life just heals up, you're not going to want to stop. Because now it's not just about surviving and healing. It's about, wait a second, this has changed everything in my life so much. What if I keep doing it? Well, let me tell you what happens if you keep doing it. You prosper in every area. Yeah, you're not looking for something that you don't believe is possible. So first you got to get yourself there, tune your brain to the right frequency. Your subconscious mind is a real pain in the butt. It is. There's so many layers of old and negativity and disbelief and stuff. And that is, you can focus consciously for 5 minutes straight on something, but your subconscious mind is trying all day long. So until you influence that subconscious mind, that habitual mind, or your inner child, whatever you want to call it, you are not tuning to that frequency. You're not going to be steady enough. You have to be able to get to yourself, that subconscious shifted. You got to address it. Sometimes I go ahead and I'll look in the mirror and I'll say, hey, Tom, what the heck are you stressing about? You have absolutely no reason. It's just a lunch with Jim and Teresa. It's okay. So anyway, that's Jim and Teresa, by the way. So the whole point is that but you got to get yourself to actually feel your spine release all tension. If your spine didn't relax and release all tension, you're still holding on to that. So start doing your best. Do as much as it takes. And then when you come in, I don't want you coming in, going ahead and, oh, no, it's more like, Doc, guess what? I've been doing it. Here's what's going on. I felt, when I started affirming that in my life, I felt all this tension here. I don't think I can get it all yet. Can you help me with that? Now you're ready to grow and become more empowered because you're really, it's like I want you to learn how to do it for yourself more than you do. You just want me to do it for you. Doc, just do your thing. Make me better. And it's like, I can't do that for you forever, and I can't go home with you and make sure you hold your adjustment. Sometimes it holds longer, depends on the stresses you're under. So peace, clarity, you're getting clear. What's your vision? What do you want? We talked about that. Be clear, plant that seed, all your heart, all your soul. Peace first, that you're provided for, clarity, and then the most important part, or the last, they're all important because you can't do one without the other. And you go back and forth. When you meditate, there's 3 parts, back and forth. Growth. Growth is actually making sure you adapt. It's kind of like you go ahead and you talk to your son, and you say, son, let me teach you something. Do you know how to do this? Yeah, I know, Dad. All right, show me. And they're going ahead and they're going like this. Right? And they're banging into the wall, right? And like, hold on a second. With whatever it is in life, that's metaphorically speaking. So you go ahead and you have this elaborate conversation with them. You take the time. They get it. I want to make sure you really get it, son. Repeat it back to me. They said it perfectly. All right, you're ready. All right, now go do it. Let's see you do it. I know you're going to succeed now. And they go back to the exact same thing. And you're like, this kid didn't learn a thing. If you're just meditating and talking about it, but not letting your nerves actually adapt and developing new habits, better behaviors, better patterns. If your nerves are overwhelmed, that's another reason why it's so important to take care of your spine properly, the way we're talking about. Because if you're doing the same habits over and over and over again, no wonder it just builds up a pile of stress even worse. It's like you want better results in your life, but your nerves are overwhelmed by it. So see, details-wise, you think you're changing it around. How many times have you ever, and this is what happened to me when I got cancer, my mental strategies were the same ones, but I was doing different details. I didn't realize it at the time, but am I the only one here that wanted so hard to do something in my life? And I tried one way, it didn't work, so then I tried a different way, it didn't work, then I tried another way, I tried another way, I tried another way, I tried another way. Like 5 years, I didn't realize that it was coming from the same vibration. And I was still putting so much effort on myself. And so it was coming from me, and no matter what I did, it was still the same mental strategy and that, when you look at it from that way. And I didn't see it as that. I wasn't adapting. I wasn't getting enough adjustments. Cancer was growing in my body. I didn't even realize it. I was getting more frustrated. So the last part's pretty important. You have to make sure you're adapting. That's the growth part. Because if you're not changing your habits, your ways of doing something, you're not growing as a person. So explain to me. Let's just say you go ahead and you're having some tummy problems. Now, you should know exactly how to handle it and what to do and get it to go away. But let's say you're not there yet. So you go ahead and maybe you're supposed to start learning faster. Then it might motivate you to come to an extra workshop or spend some time with me. Call me up and I'll spend the time with you. I told you I give you unlimited consults. Just come on in. We'll do a go over. We'll have you come in. I'll make a half hour for you, right? But you go ahead. Let's say you go to the doctor and they tell you you have ulcerative colitis. There's no cure. You're going to need these drugs for the rest of your life. How do you do your part? How do you handle that? You just told you had ulcerative colitis. What are you going to do? What? Cry. Because all it means, so look, ready? Are you provided, let's start with P. Peace. All right? Are you provided a way to have complete healthy intestines?
Yes.
All right, but the doctor's telling you no. You're going to be sick for the rest of your life. So who are you going to listen to? The doctor or your higher authority? Okay, so the only reason you were going to cry, see, that's a subluxation. Start your peace part. I'm provided for here. This is going to bless me in some way. The amount of growth I'm going to get from this. By the way, who gets to decide how you can turn the negative into a blessing? Like cancer was the worst thing in my life, but it was also the best thing in my life. And the reason for it is because I grew so much. I adapted, not just in my head, thinking it out, but nothing ever really changing. But I made enough time growing. Why? Because I cared. My whole life depended on it. I made so much time adapting that the way I take care of you guys is completely different now. It's so much better. So much more empowered. Empowering you more rather than putting all the pressure on me, by the way. It's so much better. I would never be able to have all the blessings in my life right now that I have, and I'm blessed in every single detail. If I had a magic genie come out of a bottle and said, I will give you 3 wishes, anything you want you can have, I would say I wouldn't change a thing. Do you understand? I would say that you free yourself. Okay? I would do it on the first wish. Because anything, my life is moving in such a perfect way right now that anything I change according to my way would only make it worse. I've learned that enough. As a matter of fact, what do you think an adjustment is? It's you stopping it from doing it your way and getting it less. So the truth is that you already had every wish you could have ever wished for. The genie already gave it to you. And it's inside, and you just wishing yourself away from all the blessings. It's time to reconnect and connect with that inner wisdom. Keep your nervous system free. Meditate all day long on the blessings and gratitude and joy and what you can give. Give someone a compliment. What's the you don't have to give in money. You're giving it vibrational offering to the world. Make someone feel good about themselves. Say, hey, you did a good job. Do I ever tell you you do a good job? How many times? Every visit?
Just about.
Just about. Learn how to give a compliment. Do you know the difference between flattery and compliments? There's a huge difference between flattery and compliments. Give someone a compliment every day. Miguel, I'm going to give you a compliment, okay? You're awesome. That's flattery. Well, I'm just building up his ego. A compliment won't build up someone's ego. A compliment gets them into their heart. It gets them into gratitude. Because, so if I'm building up his ego, I'm not really giving him anything. Really, I'm hurting him. But I'm taking. That's how people try to manipulate people. By inflating your ego and getting you all there. And then, right? That's not a compliment, that's flattery. A real compliment, you have a reason. Miguel, can I just take a second to tell you why I think you're awesome? See, he got into his heart already. I didn't even have to say the words yet, because he's feeling the vibration. You had the shakes and everything, things that were like on track for Parkinson's and stuff, and you know, you didn't even come to your first workshop. I just laid hands on you a few times, you started making adjustments, and the way that you started healing and the shakes started disappearing instantly, that just shows me how strong faith you actually have in that power inside you. I'm very, very impressed with you. We need more people like that, having that. We got to share that. We got to get your story and share with the world, okay? And I can even sweeten it even better and just be like, maybe not right now. We're in the middle of something, you know. But you gotta let me know how you got to be at that place, because I'll learn from it. You'll learn from it. I can share it with others. It's going to benefit people. So you got to take time to share with me how you got to that point. Okay. And now I'm getting into the spirit. Him getting into the spirit of giving. So you have a real reason why. That's the whole point. Jim. Can't think of one. Listen, you tend to abuse some of your closest friends just out of love, okay? Actually, am I giving? Because it's the playfulness and it's the love and there's but in all reality with Jim, it's like one of the things I love most about Jim, I like hanging out with him, is because it's hard. It's very hard to find someone who loves people as much as he does. And then on top of it, he goes out of his way. He sacrifices everything in his life just to see what he can do to help others. And so that's a rare quality, and that's why I appreciate you in my life, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Give every day. Give a compliment. Just give. Let your life be about giving. There's no greater joy than the joy of giving. Learn to have joy in giving, and you will start receiving abundantly. You're activating new centers of your brain. You're going to start allowing the abundance to start. You want to receive? Who here likes receiving? I do. Do you like receiving? Do you like receiving? Raise your hand, because there's no lying allowed in here. Raise your hand. You like receiving, right? Okay. If you want to receive, you know what you have to do? Yeah. There you go. Is that so hard?
No.
Start looking to, don't give out of your, wherever you think that you have scarcity in your life, and say, give of your abundance. Where can I give? How can I give? Because I already know I am already abundant, provided for. Yes, I was looking for that. You're already provided for. Of course you are. How many people, 5 minutes after you walk out my door, are you going to remember that you're provided for?
Yes.
In every way.
Yes.
Every detail. See, what I'm doing is future pacing. That's how you prepare for your day. That's how you prepare for that phone call. That's how you prepare for that Bible study. That's how you prepare for that patient you want to talk to. That's how you prepare for when you're going to come home and deal with this guy. Not just teasing, but just, I only pick on my closest friends. What's that? Yeah. So what are the 3 steps? PCG, right? 1.
Peace.
Is real peace just taking time to relax?
No.
No. It's acknowledging that you're provided for. And you're not really at peace until your inner child believes it. So if you have to meditate 20 minutes on it twice a day, do it. It's better than cancer.
Yeah.
Yep.
When I actually was trying to come off the drugs and the ulcerative colitis, and right, I got to a point where I decreased a little bit, and some of the doctors were like, no, you got to be on that Pentasa and this, that forever, and I'm like, no, I don't. But I started to come off, and I'm doing great, doing great. I hit a plateau. Anytime I went a little less, all I had was tons of blood, like tons of blood. I was hemorrhaging so much inside, I had to go back on the drugs. Tried it again, blood. Tried it again, blood. 2 weeks, I couldn't get any further. I was so tempted to think that I was going to be sick for the rest of my life, that I just needed to be on these drugs. It was a painful time of my life. I'm thankful that I knew what to do. I'm thankful for that gift of conviction and that I didn't give up. I bought myself one of these Mind Spot things. It does like the lights in front of your eyes, and you find a way, because there's a way. My mind was too distracted. I wasn't, what's the word, diligent enough or whatever. Some would argue I'm still not. But the whole point is that it had the sounds, it made the right tones, and it helped my brain get to deeper brain levels. And I did these steps for 15 minutes twice a day, and it helped me. I did whatever it took to get the job done. And as soon as I did that, I tried coming off the medicine again, and there was no bleeding. I got enough of that wisdom getting to my intestines and maintained it there long enough. So I continued coming off, continued coming off, continued coming off. And so finally I'm like, let me get rid of everything. Never touched it since. And never had a problem with my digestion since. A couple months later, I had a couple scares where I'm like, the stool's a little bit loose, and you're like, am I having problems? You get tempted to be in fear, but immediately, what did I do? Peace, clarity, growth. Wait a second. My body I'm better now than I used to be. I'm not the same person I used to be. That's clarity. I'm provided for, I'm provided for, I'm provided for, I'm ready healed, I'm ready. So wait a second. So then, what am I going through this for? Oh, there's doubts, there's feelings, and now I came clear on why I know I'm healed. My body, not only that, but don't you know that the second time, even if there was something, the second time going through something is easier than the first time?
Yes.
Overcoming it is easier? Of course. That's what the whole idea of vaccinations is. Get your body a head start, and then, not that I'm promoting vaccinations, but I'm just sharing comments and ideas, okay? But the whole point is that you get your body's immune system exposed to something, and then it's going to be better the second time, okay? Right? So it's the same thing. So, but I was so tempted to be like, oh, it's not working. So, see, that's outside in talk. That's what you just saw. That's from TV, the media. You got to take a break from TV if you need to. You know what's the only shows I love? Like America's Got Talent, The Voice, things like that. Things where you take average people just with dreams and hopes and inspirations and God-given talents, and they're just looking to share their talent with the world, and that because they don't really think, when you go ahead and there's like millions of people trying out, you don't really think, I'm gonna, well you know, but it's a 1 in a million shot, right? No matter how good you are. And even some of the best ones get voted off somehow, and you're like, how do they pick that? That one was so much better than that one. So it's not even, you know, it's really hard to win something like that. But when you're going ahead and you're aligned, peace, clarity, growth, and you're just following the steps you're provided for, you're a winner in life every time, regardless.
Yep.
You ever hear them go, oh, don't worry, you finished in 7th place, but you'll say, sometimes it's the guy who finished in 2nd place who's more successful than the one who won the $1 million contract.
Yeah.
You know, it's really about how well you adapt, keeping your nerves free, peace, clarity, and growth. Growth is adapting. Make sure those changes are taking place. Take what you're clear about and apply it to your life. Right? Someone says you got stomach cancer. Whoa, hold on a second. People gotta see the level of urgency of how much you gotta dig deeper and make changes just increased. You might have to do, if that was the case, I would have you take off of work for 2 weeks. Immerse yourself in nothing but healing. You know, they used to have these hospitals, this was 100 years ago. B.J. Palmer started a chiropractic hospital where he would have people get adjusted, take the pressure of the brain stem, align them with the principle, the truth. They only were surrounded by good things, affirming them, good quality foods. You know, they would eat right, and they would stay in the hospital for like a week or two. There was who here knows what the Mayo Clinic is? The head of the Mayo Clinic, his wife was super sick, and they did all this tests. And B.J. Palmer, he took his wife to the chiropractic hospital, the clinic, and the doctor started to tell B.J. Palmer all that. He goes, "Let me go ahead and tell you what's going on here and what's going on," and he goes, "No." and he goes, "Well," he goes, "you need to know that," and he just looked at him and he said, "With all respect, didn't you guys already, there's no way you would be in my office if you didn't already try to do everything you knew how to do." He goes, "So I don't want to hear any of that." He goes, "Let me do it my way. That's why you're here. You're not here for me to try to act like a medical doctor as a chiropractor and try to see what I could do to copy what your intentions were. My intention's completely different. My goals are completely different. And if you can't be quiet, you're hurting your wife." That's what he actually said to the head of the Mayo Clinic. It wasn't exactly word for word, but it was pretty much like that. Read all about it. And she stayed in this place, and they checked her every hour. They would come by, and she was and she's just relaxing, away from all the stresses. You know, sometimes if you just went into the hospital bed and relaxed away from all your stresses, that alone